Hello subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome back to Let's Play Rule the Waves 2. So, one thing I want to go ahead and mention real quick is that I did modify the save just a little bit. I changed the fleet size from fleet size equals 6, which is referred to as larger, to fleet size equals 8, which is labeled, if I recall correctly, as super large. As a result, so fleet size has a modifier to your budget, which in this case resulted in us going from losing a little bit of money every turn to now making like 4,000 as a monthly balance. This affects everybody, so everybody's going to have their budgets increased to some degree or another. So everybody's going to take advantage of this in some way. In this case, though, we're going to be using it to allow us to build some of those fancy new New Mexicos that we are looking to build. But first things first, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick look at our map, because there's some areas that I want to build up. For example, I would like to build up our fortifications in Philippines, because we don't have any. There are 5 ports here, so I will give them 5 10-inch guns. That basically took up our entire budget. Now, I did also go and look into this, so you will have money taken away from you if the funds you have on hand is half, or I guess more than half, of your yearly budget. So in theory, on hand, we can have $124,000 basically. Again, I believe all these numbers are supposed to represent millions, actually, not thousands necessarily. And so, yeah, we're well below that. So we're okay for now. Socialist propaganda, let's go ahead and suppress it all. Government of Britain has increased naval spending to keep its navy preeminent. They've laid down a cruiser. France has also reportedly increased theirs and laid down a new battleship, as well as the Russians. And France also commissioned a couple of corvettes. We'll just ignore the corvettes because they are irrelevant as far as we are concerned. And Wyoming has finished her workup, wonderful. And Japan proposes we enter a 5-year security agreement between our nations. This will decrease our budget and decrease our tensions. However, it does allow us to know that, Japan, I was about to say France for some reason. Japan will not be going to war with us. I can say we should seek broader agreements to take the interest of all nations into account, which presumably will decrease the tensions of all nations, but does not give us a security agreement with them, and probably calls a conference to try and pass treaties to limit ship sizes and whatnot. We should avoid... Okay, that... You know what? So Japan is weak. They are weak as shit. But they don't really have anything I want, necessarily. I mean, I wouldn't complain if I took Formosa, but it's not super important to me. And this ensures that they're not going to be attacking the Philippines or, anything like that anytime soon. At least until 1910, basically, at the absolute earliest. So sure, Japan, let's enter into a 5-year security agreement. And our scientists say that they are close to mastering central firing. Wonderful. And we get pneumatic recuperators. We're going to keep spying on them, though. Now, I would love to go to war with Germany. Not necessarily because they have... Well, I mean, they got stuff I want. These value 0 stuffs I would love to take. But that's about all they really have that I care to take, to be honest. But, I'd still love it. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and kick our intel effort up to high with Germany, so we're more likely, theory, to get events that will improve, or not improve, but increase tensions with them. They also apparently have absolutely zero light cruisers, which I'm a little amazed by. Also, since we have that agreement with Japan, I'm gonna go ahead and take this chance. Aw, damn, games fix itself. It's no longer giving me the bolded fonts for that stuff. I was gonna look into the Oklahomas, but the Oklahomas actually have no changes to make. What about the Montanas? Changes? Really? No changes to make at all? Okay. I would have thought some... Oh, well, is that true, actually? Because I know the game doesn't, Okay, game, what are our guns? Okay, yeah, maybe we actually legitimately do not have any upgrades whatsoever. That is shocking, to say the least. But, okay. You do you, game. That is very surprising. Aha. Well, I can't really fix the Brooklyns, I'm afraid. Those just aren't really an option. And the Pueblos I also can't really fix because that requires a massive overhaul of their design because game broke something when it designed those. Let's go ahead and improve the quality of our 5-inch guns on the Chicagos, which I don't recall where our Chicagos are based. Ah, they're both in Southeast Asia. Yeah, that's fine. So, if we look at this, they go from penetrating at 5,000 yards, 2.45, 2.425, 2.716. That's the reason why you upgrade your guns. Quality 1 is actually the highest, and I forgot to start my timer. Well, this is just gonna be a bit of a longer part because I'm just gonna start my timer for an hour to save me time. Instead of trying to figure out how long this has been going for and setting the timer accurately. So let's go ahead and upgrade our Chicagos with the better guns. The Olympias are fine as they are. They have 6-inch guns, which we do not have better 6-inch guns. Bainbridges have secondary guns that we could in theory improve. But I can't quite get their weight under control, so that's not going to happen. I know you have short range and cramped accommodation, so I can't really do anything with you, and I can't fix, or well, not necessarily fix, but I can't improve your rounds per gun. One, because you just don't have the space, and it would all, well, actually you do have the space. I could improve it a little bit, but it would massively increase the amount of time it takes you to finish your rebuild from 3 months to 12 months, which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion, so that's just not going to happen. Apparently it just takes so freaking long to be able to find a place to stow an extra 5 rounds per gun. You only got 1 gun. I imagine there's plenty of room wherever you're storing them now. Would improve the main gun on our Corvettes, but that's not going to happen. Because then the game's going to complain at me about... well, complain to me, rather, about stuff. What's this? The press doing headlines on the threat of Great Britain, or the threat from Great Britain. The President authorizes increased naval spending. Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. And Japan is interested in buying pneumatic recuperators. Sure, we're allied right now, so that's fine. Central firing, wonderful. Rework the design of the New Mexico. You need central firing now. So take the extra month and do that. Let's upgrade our Oklahomas. Central firing. We're gonna have to sort of do this a bit slowly over time. Italy wants to buy stuff, sure. Italy's not really a threat, so I'm fine with letting them have it. We're not going to build any New Mexicos right now, because we're kind of losing money. Meantime, I think I'm going to cancel some of these. I'm going to cancel that North Carolina. It's just not really worth it anymore. It was also going to be the only ship of its class, so screw it. 6 more turns on those coastal fortifications. We'll have some of our money back. Yep, give it the extra month. Japan wants central firing. Again, we're allies, sure, and by the time we go into war, I think we'll already be moving on to the next thing relatively soonish, so... Aha, we've acquired the blueprints of the German battleship Prussian. Is a Wittelsbach class. I'll have to update my spreadsheet with this information. And apparently we're well on our way to understanding diving planes. Wonderful. Not dive bombers, diving planes. Very different technology. Try not to confuse the two. So the Brooklyns... I think I'm just going to send all the Brooklyns to Southeast Asia. And of course, some of them are already in Southeast Asia, so they're going to go Northeast Asia to turn around to go back to Southeast Asia. That's fine. I'll live with it. Reason for that is there's basically no combat that's going to occur in the North Pacific. In the Central Pacific, there's not going to be much, if any, really. I can kind of just leave them be. Our Chicago's finished. What I'll probably do, actually, because the Chicagos are kind of bad, aren't they? Well, are they better than the Brooklyns? I suppose is the better question. 4 7-inch guns. Well, they're very different designs. So it's not a fair comparison at all. They are worse than the Olympias in some ways. Same speed. But they have smaller guns than the Olympia, but they have more of them. I'm just going to go ahead and just move 1 to Central Pacific and 1 to the Northern Pacific, just so we technically have troops in those areas. Go. These other Oklahomas. One's in the Caribbean done. Send you guys to Southeast Asia. Italy wants central firing, sure. That also gives us a little bit extra money. Do I want to go ahead and start building my New Mexicos? Build 2. 29 months for that. Also, I'm going to go ahead and scrap all these extra pueblos we have queued up. It'll save us a little bit of money, actually. Ships that are being built, even if they're halted, do cost money. That is not something I actually realized, but that is good to know. I believe ships in the North American West Coast, East Coast, and I think the Caribbean as well, will spawn back in those regions if I tell them to rebuild. I could be misremembering, but I believe that applies to those regions, even though our build region is the North American East Coast. That, I think, only applies to new ships that are built. Rebuilds, I think, can occur in the Caribbean and the West Coast without any issue. I guess we can test it out here with the Montanas. See if they pop back out in the Caribbean. Well, a couple of the Montanas. We'll check out the other ones after the first batch is done. There's our coastal batteries in the Philippines. No, I want to go to war with Germany. Technically, they have more battleships than we do. Active mine warfare, wonderful. Superimposed X turrets. So, technically, they have more battleships than us. Which does also give them more tonnage, but they're also spread out a little bit more. They're also not particularly great designs either, if I recall correctly. They are better than the Russians, though. Yeah, basically the Germans are spending all their money on battleships. They're basically got nothing else for other ships. That reminds me, I should probably build more destroyers. But I may want to design a new destroyer. Unless I have a... I believe we recently... Well, not recently, but I believe we did research 600-ton destroyers. And we don't actually have a 600-ton destroyer design. We have a 400 and a 500. Let's design a 600-ton destroyer. Too many main guns for displacement. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Don't bother with the wing turrets. It's just not worth it. Can I get you an extra torpedo mount? Not the W. The R. Not really. Then gets me. Let's clear that. WRP. There we go. Crowding. Drop you down to 2-inch guns? Okay, that would get rid of that, but then your guns basically do nothing. They have literally no penetration whatsoever. The game, just no numbers whatsoever. 3-inch guns give you something at least. 3? Can't really do anything. Engine priority speed. I want to just drop the aft. I could, it's not really helping at all. Honest. Drop then and you don't have an issue anymore. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to design the new Jarvis class. A single 3-inch gun at the front. Can I get that up to a 4? I could, but then you complain about crowding again. Okay, we'll just keep it as a 3-inch. That's fine. This thing's main armament is torpedoes. That gun's just meant to allow you to, in theory, shoot at other destroyers and maybe do something. If I got you up to 4-inch guns, though, you would in theory be able to penetrate stuff that has some armor. 3s are fine for you. Let's do that. 3 single-tube torpedo mounts and a single forward-mounted 3 caliber gun. Finished. Improved subdivision for better damage control. Let's build 5 for now. Docks completed. The Arizonas are done. Well, the Arizona and the Oklahoma are done, rather. Where are you? Okay, yeah, the Arizona and Delaware are in the Caribbean. I believe they were also already in the Caribbean previously. Yeah. The Caribbean, while it's not technically a build area, it is a rebuild area. Which is nice to know, because then I don't need to worry. I can technically send ships there to do rebuilds. And they will pop out right there, which can sometimes be a faster way of getting them to their original deployment area faster. Let's go ahead and get the Ohio and New Jersey, which are on the west coast, to rebuild to the new Montanas. The Nevada and Montana. Did you pop out? No. Okay, so the West Coast looks to not be a build area. Interestingly enough. I thought it was, but apparently not. Good to know. Oh no, you guys are in the Caribbean. Never mind. I'm an idiot. It's the other ones I need to see. Let's get you your new fire control. No, wait. Okay, we don't have better, 3-inch guns. Upgrade the Illinois. Colorado. Yep. The Colorado. For the Colorados are basically just Oklahomas under a different name. Yeah. At least they're very similar. I could just get rid of them. Sort of streamline the fleet a little bit. Not sure if that's worth it though. But I don't think I really need them, to be honest. Alright, we can wait. Okay. Game won't let me have less than 8 operational battleships. Okay, game. Well... I could scrap one. Let's scrap the Wyoming. Besides, they're gonna get replaced with brand new New Mexicos in 25 months. Sure, France. You can have better fire control. What are friends for if not giving you all of my fancy stuff? Also, let's do our doctrines now. Get gunnery and torpedo fighting. Well on our way to understanding preheater. For whatever that's going to be worth. Where am I? Okay, the destroyers are almost ready. So we're going to check the Ohio and New Jersey. Wonderful, we now have the full specs of the Royal Sovereign. I believe I was missing those. I think I only had the tonnage and the caliber of guns. If that, actually, I may have even only had tonnage. Preheater saves weight, wonderful, and yes, okay. So, East Coast, West Coast, and Caribbean are all rebuild areas. That's good to know. I will have to take that into account when I choose to rebuild ships. Oh yes, the Pueblos I can't do anything about. I keep forgetting that. Relations continue to sour with the Germans, who are now up to 10 battleships. Because I did technically scrap mine. A couple of them. Can I get rid of you now? I can, wonderful. Again, we're just doing that to streamline our designs a little bit. So let's see, I have 3 battleships in the Southeast Asia, 4 in the Caribbean. 4 in the Caribbean's a little overkill, to be honest. I think I'm going to send 1 more to Southeast Asia. Because I think that's where the bulk of fighting will end up being. Really at all, period. We'll keep one of the Oklahomas, 2 of the Montanas in the Caribbean. I don't really need these 2 on the West Coast anymore. It's about the only engagements we'll ever have on the West Coast are going to be with Russia or sometimes the British. Neither of whom we're at war with right now. A bunch of armored cruisers on the East Coast. Do I have any in Southeast Asia? I do. I have the crappy old Brooklyns. I want to move some of these Pueblos over. Maybe. Oh, that Pueblo got the nice fancy central firing. Because the game decided it was allowed to have it. Oh. Okay, well, sure, game. If you'll let me do those rebuilds, I'll do them. Okay, great job, game. Great job. Because the game generated the updated design for me, I don't have to worry about the ships being overweight. The game will let me do the rebuild anyway. Like I said, great job, game. Private shipyards, improving my docks further. Tensions between Japan and Great Britain are rising, and Japan is asking for my support. I'd rather not go to war with Britain, guys, especially since I'm so close to going to war with Germany. I mean, Britain has stuff that I would like. I will admit. You know, they got stuff in the Caribbean, they got stuff in, on the North American East Coast. I would love to have that stuff. I don't really want to go to war with them right now, though. They have 19 battleships, 13 armored cruisers, 26 light cruisers, 53 destroyers, 2 corvettes. So I could attempt to reduce tensions between them, or I can say, sure, Japan, I've got your back. I'd rather not write them a blank check, though, to be honest. Again, we're so close to war with Germany, who I'd rather go to war with, so let's host an international conference to reduce tensions. And the conference resolves nothing and ends in accusations and acrimony. Wonderful. Well, guess we're going to war with Britain, so we'll chill out. I'm just going to actually drop down to none on Germany, just to encourage tensions to go down. And I guess we're going to go to high with the British, because looks like we're going to war with Britain soon. And we got the design of a Russian light cruiser. Wonderful, thank you. Oh shit. Tensions with Germany still rose anyway. Thanks guys. Okay, well, I don't think I have anything in Guantanamo. Let's build a 10-inch gun in Guantanamo. I do sometimes have engagements around Guantanamo. I believe I already did Puerto Rico, right? Yes. I already looked at Haiti. Did we do Panama, or was that something I meant to do and then just completely forgot to do? Looks like that's something I meant to do and then completely forgot to do. Can I afford to accelerate these guys? Yes, and that'll shave 2 months off. An extra 2 months that I might be useful to me. Further private improvements to my shipyards, wonderful. 3 destroyers commissioned, 5 cruisers finished reconstruction, and, well, Japan, looks like shit's gonna go down anyway, so we'll honor our obligation fully and write you a blank check. Technically, Japan has not joined, it looks like. That'll probably happen next turn. And the game says, oh yes, Japan joined, totally. So, we're gonna go ahead and try and start sieging. Seizing, rather. British holdings in the Caribbean. We're gonna start with sieging Grand Bahama. We're gonna maybe try to seize New Providence afterwards. I think New Brunswick is just out. No, actually, New Brunswick is not. I'm gonna need to move more stuff up there. Can guys on the west coast, I need you back on the east coast. Which, because the Panama's not open yet, you're gonna have to sail all the way around. There will probably be a couple of fights in Southeast Asia, so I'm gonna leave troops there. Or ships, rather. Although the British don't seem to have a large presence there, interestingly enough, but now their stuff's inside my invasion range, so it doesn't really matter. Anything else I can move around? Yes, you guys are also on the west coast. You're not needed there. The east coast as well. Most of our fights are probably going to happen on the east coast or the Caribbean. We got a couple of the Jarvises out. Doctrine still has 6 more months. Well, let's save, and first battle is a unexpected battleship engagement near New Brunswick with 2 battleships of my, well, I have 2 battleships, 4 armored cruisers, 2 light cruisers, and 6 destroyers. The estimated enemy force in the area is 4 battleships, 7 light cruisers, and 1 AV and 12 destroyers. And it's looking like it's potentially going to be the whole thing. I was really hoping that wasn't going to be the case. I would love to sink something of theirs if I could. But I don't really see this going particularly well, especially if they do have all 4 of their battleships. Although it should be noted, the British do have a negative that is a hidden flaw. So in theory, it's possible I could end up with very lucky shots, potentially. But we'll see if I actually get lucky. Because I'm not really counting on it, to be honest. Are you guys different ship designs? No, you're all Bainbridges, just some of you apparently are slower than others. I'm looking at you, Paul Jones. You guys can stay in scout formation, that's fine. And here comes Dick. Nothing. Don't like this. Can't wait till we get our New Mexicos out, because god, they are much faster than these crappy old Illinois. 17 knots. I got 22. Unknown ship spotted. Off to the right. Don't know what it is. Could just be a merchant. It could also be a light cruiser. I think both of those are going to be destroyers. Excuse me, I think all 3 of those are going to be destroyers, and that looks to be the case. Their battleships are presumably further back. Kind of looked like that guy might have tried to drop a torpedo in the water, so I'm going to break off. At least a little bit, and I'm going to move my destroyers off to the right. Armored cruisers off to the left, to the north. Battleships are also going to turn north. Our destroyers back north again. Okay, you have identified these. How are they? Oh, shitty 2-inch guns, but they do have 3 torpedo tubes. I'd like to not mess with those if I can. Thank you very much. Particularly my battleships. Pretty sure you got the speed right on those. Okay, 28 knots. Excuse me, 20. Yeah, 28. Those are still the destroyers. Just we've now decided we're not searching on that one anymore. And then the other one, you can't identify the flag. Those are definitely still both destroyers. Okay, and my armored cruisers have misidentified signals, and so I have turned southeast. Once you guys manage to wake up, I want you to head north again. Okay, I'm not seeing their battleships, and I kind of would have expected to run into them now if they had them in this battle, so maybe I got lucky and the game did not give them their battleships. Or they immediately ran to port, one of the two. And light cruisers have now screwed up and said, I can't understand that signal. And they outrun us, so we're not going to be able to catch them. They'll either... Well, if they keep heading in this direction, they're going to get themselves stuck. Geometry up here. So... this is fine. We're just going to keep chasing them northeastwards. And eventually... we will get them stuck somewhere, and destroyers have now misunderstood signals. One. Okay, now that is interesting. What those two are doing. Well, there's the light cruiser. With its crappy 4-inch... God, that is bad even for a light cruiser. I say that, mine aren't that much better. They're 5-inch guns, but still. Also, I actually have armor on mine. You didn't put any armor on yours. Your turrets can easily be knocked out. I have a feeling your guys' secondaries. Or do you not have it? No, you do. What's the blue line? Oh. Is that torpedo? Are you saying you have a torpedo shot on that guy? Oh. Yeah, I don't know what the blue line is then. Because it is definitely not primary weapons, because I know those are red. This doesn't say you're targeting... your secondary guns are targeting the light cruiser. And you claim you don't have a solution. Armored cruisers turn southeast. That guy was gunning for you. Oh, you guys woke up. Wonderful. Back into formation. Okay, you guys woke up, but I can't adjust your formation. You're technically not AI controlled. Okay, not there. That's probably another destroyer. At least that'd be my guess. Max out at 21 knots. Paul Jones took a hit. Still can't adjust you guys for some reason. That's actually annoying. I'm hearing big guns fire, so battleships are definitely out there, and they can see us, but I can't see them. Cincinnati has spotted something. Columbia, why aren't you shooting? I don't know, you're just not. You got a nice light cruiser over here that you could be firing on. I mean, yes, there's a destroyer behind you that's tailing you, but, you know, just ignore it, it's fine. You don't ignore it, but you know what I mean. Keep an eye on it, but you don't need to let it prevent you from firing your weapons at other targets. Oh, is he just slightly out? Okay, never mind. I see the issue. The British light cruiser is just outside your firing or your firing range. It's just within the Cincinnati's. There we go. Now the Columbia's open fire. Okay, they still continue. Our battleships aren't catching up to them. They're just ever so slightly faster than our destroyers, at least for their destroyer, so I can't quite catch up. Try to maximize the guns you guys have firing on him. There we go. We hit him, and we've spotted unknown ships. I mean, one of those could be a battleship for all I know, but we know they had 3 destroyers. This one's over here, there's a light cruiser here, and then we have 2 unidentified ships out here that are in very close proximity to one another, so I think those are the other 2 destroyers. Is at least my guess. I could be wrong. But that's my... Well, if he continues going 20 knots, eventually my Pueblos will catch up. And they should be able to trounce him. 2 inches of belt armor. With, I guess, no deck armor. Oh yeah. In theory, if my guys were to fire outside of their range, they would be able to easily penetrate. But they just don't fire outside their range, as far as I can tell, so... Well, because it's also the max range of the gun anyway. The most they'll fire out to is 10,000 yards, roughly-ish. And, well, he's, how far away? About 13,000 yards. But about each time the game goes through a tick, we're closing up. And light cruisers misunderstand signal, of course. Fine. Still within your range, and so long as you guys manage to sort out your misunderstanding, won't have any serious impacts. And the grades are fouled on the California. And the Illinois. Okay, that's why you guys slowed down. I believe that is an issue that exists with coal ships. I'm not sure if that issue goes away with oil ships. But it might. If it does, then great. Out of curiosity, can you even actually penetrate him? If you close to 5,000 yards, you'd be able to penetrate. Well, or 6,000. But at this range? Okay, excuse me. 7,000. He is at about 8,000 realistically. 7,800, we'll just say 8,000. Unless you guys can close about 700 yards, you're not really going to be able to penetrate them. The Paul Jones is now able to start opening fire on the British destroyer, as well as the Lawrence Hall and Dale. So we'll let them continue to open fire. Continue to chase the rest of their fleet into a corner. And eventually, my battleships will be able to arrive and maybe destroy them. I'm gonna have you guys slow down just a little bit to 21 knots. You'll go a little bit faster than them, but you're generally going to be unlikely to overtake. Division 2 actually will continue at squad max, just until all of them can fire. Currently the Decatur is unable to fire. And also get them a little bit more inside of your firing range before you actually completely give up. Well, not give up, but actually, oh, what did the Huron? Oh, the Huron's Greats fouled. Okay, now you guys can slow down to 21. And okay, so there's their battleships. The game says that's an armored cruiser, but that's definitely a battleship, and that would explain why I was hearing big guns firing. So yes, they do indeed have their battleships. But they're flying, or well, not flying, they're sailing, rather, into a dead end. Which, a dead end that I could, you know, maybe toss torpedoes down, and my battleships can sort of blockade in a sense. First things first, I need to take care of this damn armored cruiser. Oh, since one of the Cincinnati's turrets was knocked out of action, apparently. Oh no, that is actually a armored cruiser. So they have an armored cruiser, a battleship. Are those actually light cruisers or are those destroyers? I'm not sure, I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll have Destroyer Division 6. Okay, go down to cruising speed for our battleships. I think those might actually be destroyers. Again, remember, we knew they had three destroyers identified previously. Okay, no, those are definitely light cruisers. That is the other destroyers. So unless they have more than 3 destroyers, they got some extras right there. You guys are gonna turn up to the north. Otherwise, you're just asking to get torpedoed. Turn a little bit further to the south. We will let this guy through the gap. Oh, if he takes it, but he's not. Fouled. At least you guys can get back up to 16, and holy. And this is where if I had battleship, or excuse me, not battleships, carriers, really just planes in general, this would be great. This is exactly where I would want them because I could fire torpedoes in and I'm pretty much guaranteed to hit something. It may not be a battleship like I would prefer, but you know, I would at least be able to hit something. However, I'm gonna turn out of here because holy crap, this is just asking to die. Why are you guys in the wrong damn formation again? Line ahead. Thank you. Cincinnati, you gotta get the hell out of there. Because they're sending the swarm at you. But we got their magnificence and their Ansons, which I believe I did not have information on the Ansons. At least not full information. And that might have been the same on the magnificence. I don't recall. I think I had full info on the Royal Oaks. So, yes, they do in fact have 4 battleships in this area of the ocean, and yes, we have run into all 4, and we will have to fight all 4. We're mostly just going to avoid trying to get our shit sunk. Is really the simplest way to describe it. We're just going to try and avoid getting any of our shit sunk. Line ahead game. Why is it such a difficult freaking concept for you? I don't want line abreast. So they're gonna stay in their little corner up here, which is fine with me. I'm gonna take this opportunity to regroup our fleet. Sadly, this damn destroyer does not want to die, as well as the Arethusa over here. Supposedly it has medium damage, but I don't think that's true. I really don't. Oh shit, are they gonna come south to me? Okay. Change of plans, get the destroyers up into the nook up here. So we can potentially sail out when they sail by. Maybe. Oh shit, yes, our torpedoes have like no range. I forget that. I have to literally get up on them to have any hope of my torpedoes hitting. They're just gonna swarm us, aren't they? And this is why I don't like fighting the British. At least in the early game. If this had happened much later, when I would have had more time to have a large fleet, we'd be in a better position. But nope, this is all happening a little too soon for my take. Yep, game's just gonna have those guys stuck in line abreast, no matter how many freaking times I tell it not to line abreast. This is going to be an annoying battle. I'm just going to tell you all that right now. We can't outrun them. And they have way too much shit. Even if I sail all the way back to Portland and try to make good use of my naval battery, one, it's not going to do a whole lot. I mean, 10 inches is okay for this era. It's actually probably overkill, really, for this era. But, it's not going to be able to do much. It really isn't. So unless they decide to give up the chase, we're not really going to be able to end this battle. They're gaining on us. Battleships. So unless my battleships get really lucky, which I don't see happening. 8.5 inches of belts and 2 inches of deck. Pretty sure you guys can't take that. No, you cannot do 2 inches of deck. 8 inches of... 8.5? 8.5 inches of belt. You just can't do it. You definitely aren't going to be able to take the Ansons with their 9 inches of belt armor. Or 9.5, rather. Again, you can take care... You would fail to take care of the deck, unless you got really freaking lucky. So, again, my only real options, just like with the Russians, are torpedoes. But unlike the Russians, they are information, and they don't have nearly... Well, they have a lot more ships, rather, is a better way to phrase it. They have a lot more ships here than the Russians did. The Russians had their ships spread out, and they did not have very many. So my only real option is to do the long sail all the way back to Portland. Oh, well, the game's not showing Portland. With, oh no, it doesn't do that for mine, I forgot. Never mind, I was being an idiot. So we're just gonna kick the game up to fast, which is the fastest I can get the game to run. Lucky they're gonna at least try to stay outside of the range of my battleships, which is looking like it's not gonna be the case. They are legitimately going to take it. If I can break up their formation at all, this would be nice, but I don't foresee that happening, I'm afraid. I mean, literally, if I can break up their formation at all. Send a couple of destroyers in. Are you guys seriously not going to break off when I'm sending destroyers at you? Seriously? There you go. Well, at least your light cruisers broke off. Your battleships not so much. Your battleships continue to pursue. Okay, we're gonna... Okay. The Lawrence is being annoying. I fully expect to lose these destroyers. And we don't have a ton of torpedoes. Really? Oh. Oh, that makes sense. You can fire on that Anson and he maybe will be able to do it. The hull. The hull's not going to be able to do it. The Dale, however. You have a shot at the Magnificent. You do. Is Magnificent on fire? No, okay, it just looked like it was for some reason. Decatur, do you have a shot? No. I mean, you do technically on the Royal Oak, but screw the Royal Oak. I don't care about the Royal Oak. Damn. You guys get out of there. Paul Jones is sinking. Okay, well that looks to have gotten them to break off, sort of. At least a little. We didn't do anything, sadly. It is a long-ass fucking way to Portland. You know what? Screw it. Just fire your damn torpedoes as you please. I really don't care. At this point, your job is just to try and force them off. in literally any way you can. I don't see that shot hitting in any way. Okay, well, I said that, but you know, that was at the time when I was expecting them to just keep heading straight. But no, they actually turned. Well, they turned again there, so that ain't gonna happen. Just fire your torpedo. Seriously. At anything. I don't care what it is. Take literally every shot you can. And we managed to hit a light cruiser. You know what? That's fine. You hit something at least. Fire. You're not gonna hit, but that doesn't matter. That's not what's important. What's important is that you tried. In this case, literally, that's all I care about. Considering the enemies are going and turning counterclockwise, we're gonna focus our efforts on hitting them in those turns. Oh, if that shot was just a little bit later, you might have been able to do it. Oh, is night coming? No, it's still a long ways off. It's just for whatever reason the game decided to change the color of the ocean. Okay, well, that managed to force them to break off. Now we can do the long sail back to Portland. We are losing track of each other. So we lost a destroyer, and in exchange we got literally nothing. And we damaged some stuff, but damaging stuff is irrelevant. I need to sink stuff to win. So, not off to a great start in this war, unless Japan does better. Apparently we're being blockaded, because of course. And Italy enters the war on our side. Thank you, Italy, but I don't think you're going to be super useful. Also, this is a very weird axis that we have. Japan, Italy, and the US. Sure. So I am being blockaded because they technically have more fleet here than I do. I am moving more fleet, however, to there. But until they arrive, they are going to continue to blockade me. And it's a good 3 or 4 turns until my guys finally arrive. And we're baffled by 700-ton DD. And we've researched ASW technology. Battle between the Japanese and British navies. The British sunk, or the British ship, rather. The armored cruiser Daidem and the Japanese ship destroyer Hayate have been sunk. Cruiser action. I might be able to win a cruiser action. I wish it also gave me my fancy new destroyers that are just sitting around somewhere doing nothing. Don't see them. Is it going to be the same as freaking last time, where most of their fleet's up here for some damn reason? Because I don't know what that was all about. Oh, god damn it. Small engagement size my ass. Unless those are... No. They would not be in that sort of formation if they were transports. So now, game says, oh, this is just gonna be a small engagement. It's just a cruiser action. Really? Are you sure about that? Because there's at least 2 light cruisers here, 3 destroyers here, and probably another 4 destroyers here. And that might be another destroyer or another light cruiser. I'm not sure which. So, that's bullshit, game. I'm just going to tell you that right now. When you say that this is supposed to be a small engagement, it is not a small engagement. And I'm pretty sure I have more than a single light cruiser here. So, kind of BS that I only got 1 of my light cruisers. I'm just gonna tell you to fire your damn torpedoes. Really, Lawrence? Can you at least fire a torpedo before you sink? No? Yeah, they got frickin' 3 light cruisers. Sure, I know they outnumber me, but Jesus Christ, game, really? You give them 3 light cruisers to my 1? And frickin'... what, 7? Destroyers to my 4? God damn. This is why I hate fighting the fucking British. They are a pain in the damn ass. Hull is sinking. Night comes, so we might have a chance to escape. Especially if they distract themselves with the Lawrence. Ultra fast as we head back to Portland. Another loss under our belt. Again, why I don't like fighting the British. They are a pain in the ass. In theory, we will get some support from the Italians and Japanese. I fully expect that to be bare minimum. Also, this is not even our war. Sure, I'll take another New Mexico. Only the Navy can win this war. Superimposed B turrets, wonderful. Japan got 200 victory points. Great, they're still freaking 1,400 ahead of us, guys. I'm still blockaded. I've got 2 Montanas in the Caribbean, as well as 2 San Franciscos and 3 Bainbridges. Surprisingly, we have absolutely 0 engagements happening in Southeast Asia. Surprising. And in the Caribbean. Again, surprising. Now, game, I have superimposed B turrets now, right? So... no? Don't want to use that? Really? Why wouldn't you want to use that? X turret, is that the aft? I don't recall. I think the aft is. Yeah. X is superimposed aft. So I could build... Yeah. That. I could build true BBs now. So dreadnought battleships. Get rid of the torpedoes, they're just not worth having. Give you turret-mounted secondaries. But they have to be at least 8 inches. Do that. Increase the amount that you have. The ship is overweight. 10 inches belt armor makes it impenetrable to my 14-inch guns at any range within the range of a 14-inch gun, which the AI, I believe, was not using. But I need to update my spreadsheet before I finalize any design. So that is going to be it for this part. Next part, we will be continuing this war against the British. This war that was probably ended effectively a white piece in the grand scheme of things. I do expect to technically come out on top, but not nearly enough to gain anything from it. And I'm gonna blame Japan for this. For some reason, they were really keen on going to war with the British, and I attempted to allow both sides to reduce tensions, and they told me to piss off. So, yeah. I will see you all next time, but until then, goodbye and farewell.